If I were to rank the seasons of True Blood, I would put the second season in first place. What can I say? I'm a sucker for debauchery. The fourth season in second place because, hey guys, I love everything about witches. Except for the discovery of witches, I just could not get into that series. Then season 1 would be in third place because, well, I love watching Bill and Sookie on TV. They
get me all riled up in my nether regions.
I personally think that the witches, much like the werewolves, should have had more skin in the game. I know there's other shows like the originals that have supernatural factions that fight, bond, and break bread with each other. And I kind of wish that True Blood would have taken a page out of their book. With, maybe making Lafayette the breakout star. Yes, Lafayette. He should have been the queen of all witches, honey. I truly believe that he was such a likable character that he, along with Eric Northman, could have had his own spin-off show. So in this video, I'm going to share my ideas and my vision, so please stay tuned.
What are you, huh?
I'm a Brujo. A witch.
I can't think of any badass male witches. There are countless female witches. I love Nancy from The Craft and Sabrina from The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina and Bonnie from Vampire Diaries. And they were all great, but there's no male witches except for Lafayette. And the sad part about it is that Lafayette wasn't even supposed to be a major character in the True Blood series. In the book, he got killed off in the first couple of chapters. Yet the producers of True Blood realized that they had struck character gold. They created Lafayette, a character that deviated from all traditional prototypes of witches. I mentioned before in my other videos that Lafayette was the most dynamic character on True Blood, showing amazing range, going from a thug dealing weed to a man lost in love to a diva who can slay a pair of eyelashes and a badass panicure. Not to mention the fact that he can throw punches better than Mike Tyson. He was feminine, masculine, mean, kind, loving, and likable. And he didn't flip-flop back and forth and lose steam based on the lack of character growth, much like Tara. No, it seemed that the showrunners knew exactly what they wanted to do with Lafayette. They wanted to make him a breakout star. And yes, I've mentioned in other videos that Eric Northman, played by Alexander Skarsgård, was set up to be the emerging star of True Blood. After the first season, he was set up to be the prince that was promised, or the one. These are similar themes that we've seen in other movies like The Matrix, Game of Thrones, and Star Wars. While Eric Northman was preparing for superstardom, Lafayette was set up to be the scene stealer. Come on now, Lafayette had some really cool lines and outfits, and even when he was behaving badly, we the audience still loved him.
There's some darkness in his family, Tara. My mama, yo mama, they ain't strong enough to beat it. We are.
Sadly, many of us could relate to his story. A gay man living in the Deep South, battling his own sexuality and insecurities. And as fans of the show, we secretly admired him for putting it all out there and owning his uniqueness.
What kept me down?
Don't let nothing get you down. It's the only way to live.
Despite the rednecks who thought that they could bully him, and his mother who seemed to berate him and love him all at the same time. It wasn't just the audience that loved Lafayette. Other characters like Eric Northman seemed to warm up to him once he discovered his kind nature. Now, Nelson Ellis had often said that he had a hard time playing Lafayette and didn't really get the character down until like the fourth season of True Blood. Well, to me, that makes a lot of sense simply because the fourth season was all about him. Oh, so you thought that it was about the witch Marnie.
Hell, I came to protect you, Lala. They coming for you.
Who coming for me, mama?
The vampires? The witches?
Marnie was the doormat Wiccan who went from docile to diabolical, punishing all vampires for their mistreatment of witches and humans throughout the centuries. While the second season was all about pitting Marianne, the Maynette, against Sookie the Fae, and the third season was all about the notorious battle between Eric Northman and Russell Edgington. The fourth was all about Lafayette coming into his own and tapping into his supernatural powers.
You got power, boy. You always have. That's why they're coming.
Yes, Lafayette had all the makings of a witch. Like many witches, he had an innate understanding of the spirit world.
You just saying that because you don't understand it. And trust me, this world is filled with things we will never understand.
Just look at that altar. At first, he was doubtful of Lady May's backwoods hoodoo ceremony. Then he became a believer when he realized that it cured her from her drinking habits. He even admitted to dibbling and dabbling in magic. Nothing hardcore, of course. That is until Jesus graces his presence.
Dealing drugs is very dangerous for somebody like you. All that energy you got, it can go dark if you let it.
Jesus eyes his altar and tells him that he is doing things all wrong. Jesus says that Lafayette must give offerings to Chango, the Orisha of fire and lightning, and Ishu Legba, also known as Papa Legba, the Orisha of the crossroads in the Hoodoo South.
Elewa and Chongo. These guys are pretty core, dude.
What do you offer them?
Huh?
The dialogue between these two characters hints that Lafayette is the son of Chango and Papa Legba. It also foreshadows his growth into becoming a great psychic medium. For Chango is the deity known for his psychic abilities, and Papa Legba is the medium spirit who can see ghosts and spirits in different dimensions. Now, it must be noted that Chango is a deity revered throughout the African diaspora. However, before he became a god, he was a vicious king who ruled over the West African kingdom of Oye. Chango, a philanderer and conqueror, grew more and more powerful with each person, town, and city that he destroyed. His anger and cruel ambition were tempered when Oshun, the beautiful Orisha of love, opened his heart, resulting in him learning about compassion. Unbeknown to Lafayette, he had inherited special magical abilities from a great ancestor. She lived in the days of slavery and used her hoodoo and gree-gree to heal, cure, curse, and keep her masters from entering her bed. Also, Lafayette's mom was portrayed as batshit crazy.
Hey, I ain't going back there. You ain't taking me back. I ain't crazy. It's them drugs they giving me.
In today's world, we believe that these people's minds are broken. The word schizophrenia literally means split mind. However, many people believe that it's a spiritual gift. They believe that schizophrenics aren't insane. Rather, they are blessed with the ability to see and experience different dimensions all at the same time.
My sun is shining through. Did he do this to you?
No. Yeah.
We see this with Ruby Jean when she warns Lafayette that evil is coming for him. Also when she tells him that he is magically gifted. Lafayette dismisses her, believing her words to be a bunch of nonsensical babble.
I think you've been hanging around my mama too long. Her crazy is starting to rub off on you.
But Jesus doubles down. He tells Lafayette that he does have special powers. Lafayette is still in denial until he goes on this special V trip. Here he learns about his ancestors, his power, and his purpose as a character on the show. The V trip opens up a great deal of chambers in Lafayette's mind, and much like his mother, Ruby Jean, Lafayette starts to see visions. At first, he believes that he got on a crazy train and was heading to the same destination as his mother. However, as he eases more and more into the magical world of witchery and wizardry, he understands that he does have a gift. This is an important turning point for Lafayette. In the first season of True Blood, his dreams of being an entrepreneur and leaving the small town of Bontemps were shattered.
You have great value, Lafayette. You're discreet, efficient, and you have a network of loyal customers with enormous disposable income. You could become quite wealthy if you wanted to.
Once arrested, beaten, bitten, and tortured by Eric Northman, Lafayette realized that, hey, the life of crime wasn't for him. And for the seasons after, he believed that his dream was gone, only to be reignited when he learns about his psychic abilities and his magical powers. For the first time since the very first season, Lafayette believed that he wasn't just a line cook. He was indeed a witch who had been called to heal and help people. Through the latter half of season 4 of True Blood, both Jesus and Lafayette are benched, only to get back into the game and make the winning score. While Marnie holds them all hostage at the Goddess Emporium, Lafayette, the only other medium in the coven, could see that Marnie was being possessed by an ancient spirit known as Antonia. Marnie, a woman drunk off power, binds Antonia to her. Her mission to make all vampires meet the sun.
But understand this. Vampires are not immortal. They are only harder to kill.
Marnie, unlike Antonia, doesn't care if she hurts humans and is willing to kill anyone who stands in her way. Jesus is able to work his magic, breaking the binding spell between Marnie and Antonia, setting her free and allowing Marnie to meet a rather bleak death. However, things aren't over quite yet. The spirit of Marnie finds another soul to mount. Yes, my friends, Marnie mounts Lafayette. Now, the one thing I love about great writing is that the smallest details have the greatest amount of impact. Now, remember when I told you about the Erasure Jenga? Well, Lafayette travels down a similar path by killing people and taking their power. He kills his boyfriend Jesus and absorbs his power. And once Marnie's spirit is dispelled from his body, he absorbs a lot of her power. Lastly, Lafayette has this ultimate showdown with Jesus' grandfather, a nefarious Brujo, who wants his family's juice back. However, once this Brujo is defeated, Lafayette is able to walk away the reigning champion, harboring the ancestor power of Jesus and the wicked Brujo, and even Marnie. In fact, Lafayette is able to harbor the power of any of the spirits that mount him. Yes, it's safe to say that Lafayette is pretty badass, and if Marnie, along with Antonia, could get a few vampires to meet the sun, Lafayette could have roasted at least a few thousand. However, like Tara, Jessica, Steve Newland, and Russell, he was underutilized. Now, I'm very much aware that Nelson Ellis is now resting in power. However, his legacy lives on television, and he will go down as one of the baddest witches in history. So what do you guys think about Lafayette? What do you think about his magical abilities? Please sound off in the comments below.